Recently, both Claude Code and Antigravity has blown up. So today's video, we're going to actually put them into use and build a very useful client fronted platform by showcasing actual proof. And I'm going to specifically be using Claude Code. It works the same way in Antigravity if you want to use that instead. I'm currently using the Antigravity terminal. And I'm going to build the front end through ClickUp, but it works the same way through platforms like Airtable, through Monday, whatever project management platform you use, it's going to use and work the same way, right? So specifically, I want to build a front end which my client can see about performance, how we're looking, updates. And of course, you can create some sort of front ends through platforms, but I want to automate the entire process here by creating a proper front end for my clients to see, right? So we start off by launching the famous Claude Code through my terminal. So I'm just going to write Claude. And I'm going to, first thing I do is I need to connect my ClickUp account. So I go into ClickUp, I go into the settings, right? So this is the settings button. I then locate myself to the thing called apps, just right here. I then have this API token, which I'm going to regenerate. I'm going to sign in with my account, right? And then I'm going to copy paste this thing. I'm going to go back into my Claude Code. I'm going to say, hey, I want you to create me a client portal facing dashboard. I want the dashboard for my clients so they can see the progress around their content, right? Now, you can provide your own details here. You can say whatever you want. If you have specific details, just let the Claude Code know here. Tell you your specific use case. I'm just going to write like generic things here, like, hey, I want a client portal. I want it to connect through my ClickUp API, so I don't have to update anything manually, right? I'm going to, here is my API key. I also need to share in ClickUp my workspace ID. The workspace ID is this little thing at the top. So I'm going to copy paste this number, and I need that for ClickUp to locate the system, right? First thing, here is my workspace. The thing I like to do personally here is, do you have any questions before we start? I want to use plan mode technically for it to find, in short, create me a plan on how I would kind of propose this specifically, and like, hey, it would probably want to know more information about my company, kind of what I do, and so on. So I wanted to plan, I wanted to come up with ideas and how to actually approach this. Okay, here, yes, I will. Oh yeah. So yeah, I will remove this API key. You won't have access to it. I know it's fully public to the YouTube. So what do I want? I want the app. I want a Next.js plain. I'll just technically, I would want to have something like a Versal. I think it's the highest quality because it's more stable, longer term better. So I'm going to pick, actually. I want each client, which is their own folder in this case. And if you're curious, I built this in the previous video at this exact system. I want a task list status. I want to have either their content tasks and status. I want to see upcoming due dates or deliverables. That's, I think, okay, pick, okay, perfect. Okay, pick all, sure. Technically, the thing I would do in your case here, I would set up a super base for each client, for the clients, have login structures, have everything around those lines. I think you can figure it out yourself, or we can take that in another video. I'm just going to say unique URL, just to keep it simple, mainly because I don't want to confuse, I don't want to overwhelm. It's going to add a bunch of additional steps here, which is going to take even more time. I want to just build the front end, and then for the logins, you can just create super base and you can kind of figure out from there. I'm now going to let Claude Code build the entire thing, and I'll return to you once it's done. Claude has now written its own plan. It has created different files, different structures, different folders, and everything else, right? So it's going to create me the structure of the client portal, the main, the app, the config, the client.js, and the entire architecture structure. Now it's going to keep going, keep creating the system, and just keep building it for me by having the implementation plan. And that's why we use plan mode, mainly because you don't have to do anything yourself. Claude takes the time, it thinks about the situation, it adds extra tokens to actually proceed and think about the task specifically before it starts building anything. So not like use any upfront or like tokens unnecessary, right? Now, Claude Code has finally finished the task. After 4 minutes, it has created a client portal. And imagine now this specific case, if you did this manually. This will not take even hours or even like days. This will potentially take you weeks or even months to build a full-on client portal system, let alone the costs behind it, right? Now I paid probably a couple of cents or dollars and I have a full-on system. Now, obviously, I need to add my real API key and client folder ID. So I'm just going to press tab and this will automatically write the text for me and I can just plug it in, right? Very, very straightforward. So what are ClickUp API key? I gave my values in the chat before. Did you save those? It might not have been totally fine. I don't expect everything here to happen. So let me see if you can find anything. I did share the API key in Workspace ID. If you didn't get it, it's not like a biggie here. I can just share it again. Maybe you can find the API keys. If not, I would just share it again. Very, very straightforward. So it did actually find my API key. I found my API key. The plan itself pointed me there for this exact reason. Perfect, right? Now it wants the folder ID. So in this case, I will go back to my ClickUp and I'm going to actually specifically pick a folder ID. The main reason I have it like this is because we could potentially just go back to home here. And I did have a client work, which is called John with one deliverable. So I'm just going to like create website, create methods. I'm going to very, very straightforward, just like do something like this, due date, let's say next week, last week, priority high. I'm just going to fill out approve meta flows. I just want to fill this out so it's not completely empty. So it's a bit more realistic. Meta ads flow or Snapchat ads flow. Okay, that's quick tasks. Snapchat ad flow, Snapchat ads. It is currently, the state says of complete custom. Thank you. In progress, name, assignee, due date tomorrow, active projects, build their VSL funnel. Right, I can put the assigned person very quickly. This is for 2 weeks. Just to fill out the information, I'm going to pick this specific folder called client work, and I'm going to see if this AI can find a thing for me. So go back into Claude Code, go into the space called, it was specifically called client work, and then pick the name John. My agency name is FlowClick, by the way. So it's going to hopefully go into my ClickUp here, so I don't have to do anything manually. Pick the client work. I did misspell client work, and then pick the name John, so the folder name John. That's kind of the main process here, and I wanted to find everything for me, so I don't have to do anything manually. So if you go back into ClickUp very quickly here, it's going to basically go through my ClickUp and then find the specific John folder, right? As we can see, it cooked for 30 seconds. It found my John real folder ID, wired up the token John, and then created a local host for me. So I'm going to open this local host. Now, it's going to ask me to run dev. So run dev so I can run the local host. This currently runs locally on computer, which means the server runs when your computer is on and currently running. As soon as you turn this off, the computer turns off and it stops running, right? So you have to create your own client portal and kind of your own service as well. If you want to actually do this for your clients, you have to host it yourself on a server and do those things as well. Very important to know here. Currently, I won't go into too many details. I think you can figure that out very, very easily through Claude Code. Just ask Claude Code like, hey, I now want to serve or like host this server for my client portal. How do I do it? Which one do you recommend? And can you do it for me? Very, very straightforward. Now, if I go back into my folder and my arc here, I can see our first client portal. We have John, we have content progress portal. We have create methods to do. It was due this day. We have create website to do March. Build their VSL funnel. We have in progress, Snapchat ads, March. And then we also have the complete, which is if Snapchat ads flow, a complete, and approve meta ad flow complete, right? This I created by one prompt. Very, very simple. I didn't do anything major. Now, imagine if you start adding pictures, imagine if you start adding approval flows, imagine if you just keep working on this flow. And ideally, let's try something even further. We can go back into our ClickUp system and we can start by maybe attaching. I would also like maybe connect your Google Analytics, connect your Meta account. You can ask that, like Google, to connect that part as well. I'm going to specifically go into the active projects and I'm going to upload a picture and comment. Here is currently how the website, how the VSL funnel is looking like. I'm going to search for VSL funnel. I'm going to go into images. I'm going to pick some image just to like be able to showcase something. I think this one looks quite solid from Dribble. Maybe we could copy image and hopefully I can upload this to my comment. If I can edit comment, I can attach the flow. This shouldn't be updated now if I don't have included that progress, I believe. So create VSL funnel, there's nothing here. Perfect. I go back to Antigravity here and then I ask, could we make sure that it adds pictures, add comments and attachments as well in the client portal? I have a comment specifically under create a VSL with an attachment, picture, and a comment. I would like to display that into the client portal as well. You can just keep building on this, keep adding stuff. You can do it however you want, and this all automatically flows through the system. So if I go back into, I'm just curious if this like totally is live updated. If I go back into my ClickUp, if I put the deliverables here on, let's say, create website, I complete that. I think this will update if this thing is still running. Yeah, you can see everything is connected automatically. All I have to do is just host this on a server, create different client logins, and everything else is automatically done. It's insane how far we've come with AI and the different systems. You can do so much stuff on your own nowadays by just prompting, adding systems, and there's so much more leverage building client portals like this nowadays. And I'm going to ask AI to keep building and keep iterating the same system, which is connected with my ClickUp. And something worth noting here is that you connect this with your Airtable, you can connect it with your Monday system, you can connect it with whatever project management system or just whatever like a key for Google Sheets. Whatever you use, you can still customize it completely to your own needs. And I think that's worth talking about because it's not specifically about ClickUp, it's about the API keys and how much you can attach. And just like this, it cooked for another 2 minutes. It created the new system for me. If I go back into Antigravity here, 2 minutes, localhost, I go back into my system, and now it has created a small little icon here with a comment. If I press on this comment, here is currently how the VSL funnel is looking like. How sick isn't this? It's insane on how much you can do nowadays with AI by just adding some prompts, and the rest is self-explained. You can create some insane client products nowadays, everything done automatically without you actually having to find any excuses. So I recommend connect this with your Meta accounts, connect this with your PPC accounts, Google Analytics, Semrush accounts, whatever you have, and make sure you can create some very, very insane client portals. I highly recommend you try it for yourself and then just play around and you can see what you can do. Hope you enjoyed and hope you enjoyed how you can see how to build this in practice. It's very straightforward. I just put in a couple of prompts and it did everything for me completely upfront and I did nothing. You just have to host this. You just have to create a backend through Supabase, maybe some like logins, so it's secure as well, through just like a more standpoint that's okay. If you have client information, you have it secured to them. If you have like NDAs and stuff, I highly recommend checking it out. I think it's super valuable, very straightforward. So good luck, try it for yourself and play around with Claude Code or Antigravity or Codex, whatever you use, and see how much you can do yourself. Thank you, hope you enjoyed. If you need help with similar systems yourself, book a discovery call down below. I'm happy to give you a walkthrough, give my thoughts on how you can scale your own company nowadays. Thank you, wishing you a wonderful day, and on to the next one.